Hey guys, this is question number 2. The question number 2 deals with what is a proactive strategy, what is a reactive strategy, and which is better for the company or which is better for the given situation. Okay, so basically we'll talk about one case study and then we'll move on to the questions. Okay, you have totally 3 questions of the same type. Okay, I'll tell you an example. Have you ever heard about Netflix, Disney Plus Hotstar, Z Star? There is a Z app, and then Sun TV app and Sony app. Okay, there are many apps through which you can watch the content, right? So what is the major difference between Netflix and Disney Plus Hotstar? Basically, originally or basically, Disney Plus Hotstar or Z Studios or the Sun TV, these people are the content creators. Okay, these people's main job or the original work or job or profile or business is to create content. For example, Disney has a production company and it produces lots of films, series and all that. Okay, and then when it comes to Hotstar or Vijay TV or about the Z Studios or about Sun TV or Sony, every one of these companies, okay, is a production company. It produces lots of content. Basically, when see how did this business all started? Okay, usually we watch films or we watch movies or we watch the series only in TV, television. That was a mode of 90s mode or 2000s. In 2005 until 2005 and 10, we were watching movies in TV or we were watching movies in theaters. Okay, and any content, okay, only after that data revolution that has happened, when Geo gave you so much data power, we all binge watched lots of things in YouTube and all the videos in the that is what over the top. There is a over the top OTT platforms. So initially, which is the gigantic or very big player in the OTT platform, it is only Netflix. What is so unique about Netflix is that Netflix is not a content production company. Netflix is not producing anything. Netflix is not originally a producer of content or movie or series or nothing. Netflix is just a company, okay. What it does is it is collecting the content from Disney, it is collecting the content from MGM, it is collecting the content from many other producers and it is floating on the Netflix app. So once I subscribe to the Netflix app, I can see the film that is produced by Disney Productions, I can see the film that is produced by MGM, or I can see the film that is produced by any producer on Netflix. But over a period of time, once the data revolution has hit the nook and corner of every country, of every nook and corner of every country, what has happened is that Disney wanted to start a separate app for itself. So once Disney is starting or launching its own app, what will happen? Disney will no longer give its movies or series or any content to anybody else for floating on their own platform, floating on the platform of Netflix or floating on the platform of others. Instead, Disney will exclusively launch all the content that it has so far created, or it will in future be creating any content, or currently creating contents. Everything will be streaming only through Disney Plus Hotstar. Do you understand the problem here? So when it comes to Sun TV, so far Sun TV was not able to portray all its content in an app format. But now Sun Next is an app launched. So all the Sun TV content will be exclusively streamed only on Sun Next. In the same way, you have Z Studios and you have this Disney Plus Hotstar and you have so many apps. But now what is the problem for Netflix? Now our case study is Netflix. What happens to Netflix? Because now Netflix is losing lots of contents because all the content creators are launching their own app. Imagine Sony Pictures. Sony is having its own app. Once Sony is launching its own app, do you think it will give its content to Netflix or Disney Plus Hotstar? No, it won't. It will be launching its content only in its own platform, not in anybody else's platform. As a result, Netflix was on the brink of non-existence or on the brink of dying. Why? Because now Netflix has no content providers. Every content providers have launched their own app. So now Netflix started to see the real picture. What if in future most of the content creators are pulling out the content from me? What will I do? I will have no content left over, okay, to attract the new subscribers or to retain the existing subscribers. What am I supposed to do? At that point, okay, at that point in the career of Netflix or in that point in the, how do you call, in the life cycle of Netflix decided to invest a lot of amount in the production of web series, in the production of movies, like for example Squid Game. It is a Netflix exclusive. So Netflix has started to produce lots of local cinema, okay, local content, local web series. For example, you have Surel, right? The recently Surel has been released. I think it is in Z platform. Okay. In the same way, you have some Disney Plus. I don't know whether it is released in Disney Plus or in Z. But then you have some exclusive contents that's been released in the like what, in the appropriate apps, in the respective apps. In the same way, Netflix wanted to be the owner of the content and not just a person who is renting it from the others for licensing fee. So what Netflix did was, it took lots of Korean dramas, it took license of lot of Korean dramas, because Korean dramas were not produced by Disney, or it was not produced by MGM, or it was not produced by any of the English production companies. So Netflix grabbed that piece of cake, wherein most of the South Korean dramas, okay, or the BTS or any other sensational content from South Korea, it licensed most of the content from the South Korea, and it was floated in the Netflix app. Okay, and the binge watchers of Korean dramas were obviously attracted to Netflix, but that was only a time stalker that can only stand for some time. But beyond that, you really want to increase your subscribers in multiple fold, right? So for that reason, having just the licensed content of Korean dramas is not going to help. Okay, it is only to buy some time. After you bought some time, what Netflix is supposed to do? Netflix started to produce its own content, Indian content, Marathi, like what, all content in all languages in India, and then in Malaysia, okay, and then in Indonesia, they created and curated lots of local content, and they concentrated more on Asian market. And lots of content are being created by Netflix, and those contents are being streamed in the Netflix app. Now nobody can threaten Netflix's existence, because all the content now is being created by Netflix. Now this is not an easy game, okay. Creating content Asia wide is not that easy job. It requires a lot of investment, it requires a lot of patience. You really have to allure the customers in India. You really have to offer mobile only subscription at just 199, because Netflix usual subscription rate is 999. Nobody will be able to afford 999 rupees for one subscription of Netflix. No, nobody is going to give that. So Netflix was supposed to, or Netflix was compelled to customize the packages for Indian customers, for Indonesian customers, or for the Asian customers in general. Okay, reducing the tariff rates, reducing mobile only plans, and not just for smart TVs. It also offered exclusively only for mobile phone subscriptions alone at 199 rupees. There were a lot of actions taken by Netflix. Number one, creating its own content. Number two, it gave you customized plan or reduced tariff rates. Why it did all those things? Because it came to know, or it has already sensed the future, that the future of content is not with Netflix, but the new future of content is with the content producers. And Netflix found that it is not a content producer, and it is only a person who is getting the content for a licensed fee. And this licensing method is not going to work out in future. And if I really want to stand strong with head held high up, I really have to be a content creator. So to become a content creator, what should I do? Where should I concentrate? Should I concentrate in Africa? Should I concentrate in Asia? Or should I concentrate in the Latin America? Where should I concentrate? So they chose Asia to first concentrate. They wanted to try everything out in Asia. Once everything is working well in Asia, they will try to replicate the same model in Africa or in Latin America, because most of the Latin American economies, African economies, and Asian economies are all developing economies. So once a particular protocol or particular strategy is working in Asia, it will definitely work out in Africa and Latin America as well. This is, my girls and boys, it's called as proactive strategy. Sensing something is wrong in the future, or sensing something is going to be very great in future, and you really want to seize those moments, and you really want to reduce the adverse impacts of future. You really want to avail the opportunities, reduce the adverse impacts. You really want to enhance the demand. Okay, you want to enhance the demand, you want to do all these things, you really have to be proactive. And here for proactive and reactive strategy, the example that we have come across is Netflix, okay, and its proactiveness. Okay, wow. So I'll tell you questions. There are 3 questions. You really have to go through. Question number 1. I'll share the screen with you. Okay, please put a pause and read the question. This is the question. Please put a pause and read the question. Yes. Have you read the question? Okay, what is the question telling you? There are 2 companies, A and B. A is always superlative, it is always proactive. B is always slow, then don't say, so very lazy only. Okay, what are the 3 questions they have asked you? Question number 1 is like identify the strategic approaches. What approach A followed and what approach B followed, and then explain the question number 2 another, explain the strategic approaches followed by both the companies. And number 3 whichever is better. Whichever is better, you know which is better. Proactive is better because it is a planned strategy. Okay, so it is always better. And then you have to discuss the strategic approaches. You have to explain both proactive and you have to explain the reactive strategies as well. And then what is the first question? First question is like what is the strategic approach taken by A and B? So we'll start answering question number 1. First is subheading another ALBELA. There is A Foods is proactive in its approach and B is a reactive in its approach. This is the first answer. Second one, we are going to explain the proactive and reactive approach. Okay, so what is proactive approach? I told you it is a planned strategy. Okay, for example, Netflix. Netflix is in existence for a large number of years. Okay, for a very good number of years, it was raking profits so much. But now it is having some problem. It has sensed some problem. That is, the content creators might withdraw their content out of the Netflix platform. So they have sensed this problem. So they have launched some new business initiatives or new managerial initiatives in order to reduce the adverse impact of the future. Do you understand? So always proactive strategy will always have 2 combination or 2 element. One element is like a well working or well established. So far I've been using this strategy, this is working well, no loopholes at all, super good working conditions, super strategies. These strategies are called as, see here it is being given, these strategies are called as previously initiated business approaches that are working well. Okay, previously initiated business approaches that are working well. Alongside of the existing strategies, I am going to add a new component that is called as newly launched managerial activities in order to strengthen the company's overall position and performance. So when I have this superlative already existing strategy plus the newly launched initiative or a managerial initiative in order to strengthen the company's position and performance, this together is called as a proactive strategy. This proactive strategy is an outcome of the management's ability of thinking and analytical thinking or strategic thinking in such a fashion. It concludes that how to position the company. Where do you want to position? Today Netflix would mean what? Today what is the existence of Netflix means to the world? Do you think the general public sees Netflix as an alien company where you cannot see any content that is connecting to you? Or do you think Netflix is a company that connects with you or that connects you to the world cinema? It is not only concentrating on Tamil cinema, it is not only concentrating on Telugu or Malayalam cinema, it is also connecting the Indian audience to the world, because you have French content, you have Italian content, you have German films there, you have Russian films, you have Korean films, you have the world cinema in front of you. So those audience who can actually appreciate the world's finest taste in cinema can really appreciate Netflix. Do you understand? So this is what they're trying to tell you. What is the third point? Outcomes of, listen here. These are outcomes of, what is the outcome of proactive strategy? Is an outcome of management's analysis and strategic thinking about the company's current situation and its conclusion about the positioning of the company in the marketplace. In the marketplace, where do you want to position Netflix? Do you want to position Netflix in the second or third place, or in the secondary place or tertiary place, or you want it to be a main primary player? Where do you want to place it? And finally, if everything is done well, definitely proactive strategy will help the company to effectively compete for buyers' patronage. It's like me. I have subscribed for Netflix for the past 5 years. I have never once thought that I should unsubscribe from Netflix, because Netflix has become a part of my life. Every day I used to watch at least 1 hour of content from Netflix. It's like it has become a part of my life. when it comes to Disney Plus Hotstar or Z, it is only that regional serials that you will watch. But when it comes to Netflix, you can watch the world cinema in front of you. So Netflix has literally become a part of me. So I can never unsubscribe it. And in the recent past, one time, I have not paid the Netflix subscription because the credit card was expired. So the payment was not automatically taken. So the new credit card has been dispatched to me, but I did not notice that the new credit card's validation has been uploaded in the Netflix website. I did not know. I was watching the Netflix and Netflix was telling me you were supposed to pay the payment, but there was some glitch, there was some mistake. Can you please check? So they were sending this message for me for like 1.5 months, and I was ignoring the messages, and still Netflix was streaming the entire content to me. I was watching. But after 1.5 months, I asked to my brother, something is wrong with my Netflix. Every time I open the Netflix, it is showing me that I'm not paying, but I have already uploaded my credit card details. What's wrong? Please look at it. And my brother told me, like, okay, the credit card has been expired, your new credit card has come. Please upload the new credentials. I uploaded, and all of a sudden, Netflix said, thank you for your payment. I did not pay for the last 1.5 months where I did not pay. No, I did not pay accumulatively. Okay, I just paid for that. From that date only I paid for the next 1 month. So they just did not stop streaming the content for 1.5 months because they bought the buyer's patronage through this. I've been an ardent viewer of Netflix cinemas or Netflix Korean dramas for the last 5 years. As a result, when I'm not able to pay 1.5 month subscription because of some technical glitch or because of some expiry of the credit cards, they did not mind streaming the content for me without fee for 1.5 months. Through that, they have gained my patronage, they have gained my loyalty. This is how a company can gain buyers' patronage. So everything will come only from the proactive strategy and the quality of the content that the Netflix as a app is going to deliver you. Now, what do you mean by reactive strategy? Reactive strategy is an adaptive reaction to changing circumstances. You know things are changing and everybody is taking up a strategy and you're compelled, you're pushed to take some action. So when you do that, it is called as a reactive strategy or adaptive strategy. And at reactive strategy, it's like even though I'm a proactive strategist, okay, or even though Netflix has taken so much of proactive strategies, even then some of my strategies might not work, or some of my managerial process might not work. As a result, I really have to remove those pieces that doesn't work, and I have to add new pieces that will work based on the change in circumstances. These are all the reactions that I'm giving. These are all the reactive strategies that I'm taking up as a company. So a company is not like a hardcore only, there is only proactive strategy. You should not use reactive. So once you're a reactive strategy maker, you really have to be only reactive. You cannot be proactive. No, there is no hardcore distinction. Netflix is a proactive strategist, no doubt, but in some places where Netflix is, okay, for example, Netflix is taking a film, okay, and that film has certain scenes which is against the normal understanding of Tamil people or normal understanding of Hindi talking people, or it has certain scenes like what even in the ad that's been taken in Tanishq, taken by Tanishq, okay, one of the ads, you have this Hindu Muslim wedding and all that. People were very agitated. We really did not know what is the matter with it. They said it's like they named the ad in a very different quotation. So certain content that is being created by Tanishq or certain content that is being created by Netflix might rife a lot of political or might rife a lot of social media attention, unwanted attention. So in those places, Netflix has learned that, okay, I should not make content with these remarks and all that, so that I am in a safe bet. So whenever you learn in the process of making yourself, there has to be some adaptations in the process or progress. That is called as reactive strategy. So reactive strategy is an adaptive reaction to changing circumstances. And see, what is point number 2? Point number 2, it is not always possible for a company. See, I'm not a god, okay. I cannot expect everything that is going to happen in future, and I cannot make my strategy exactly proactive. Okay, so it is not always possible for a company to be entirely anticipatory or entirely planning for things ahead. Okay, so there is also a need for a company to adapt strategy as and when things come, and certain learnings that the proactive strategy that I have taken, maybe the strategy number 1 that I am following is not working. I have to discard that piece. I have to keep this piece. Okay, in that strategy, this part is not working. Let me discard that piece. This part is working. Let me just get that influx. which means there is always a continuous evolutionary process of what is working, what is not working, what should be attached, what should be detached, and all that. When you're learning this, you automatically enter into that reactive strategy status. Okay? By itself, management may hit upon ideas for improving the current strategy. So when you want to increase your current strategy, when you want to improvise your current strategy, that is also called as reactive strategy. So we have discussed what is proactive strategy and what is reactive strategy, and finally what are the benefits of a proactive strategy. And people and the question that you might ask, which is better? Obviously proactive strategy is better. Do you know why? First of all, any adverse impact is now reduced. Number two, your demand will be enhanced. Okay. Number three, it is about you will smell the opportunities and you can convert the opportunities into money. And finally, fourth one, you are the first mover. And something when you do it first, you get the first mover advantage. You get the first mover advantage. It's like batting or bowling. Whenever you get batting first, you're very excited. Why? Because you get the first mover advantage. You can set the benchmark. But then when you get bowling, you cannot set the benchmark. You really have to give a tough bowling to them. So it's in the same fashion. So what are the four advantages of having the proactive strategy? Number one, you can increase the demand. Okay, you can reduce the adverse impact. Okay, and then you can utilize the opportunities, and finally you get the first mover advantage. So this is one. Okay, this is for the ALBELA question, A-B question. Okay, I'll go to the next question. Next question is also the same pattern. Put a pause and read the question. Put a pause and read the question. Okay, have you read what the question says? Yummy foods and tasty foods. Yummy is the proactive person, tasty is a reactive person. That's all. Same question again follows. Okay, what is the answer? Read the answer. Yummy food is proactive in approach. On the other hand, tasty food is reactive in approach. Appo, which is better? If the organization is permitting and if the resources are bounty, then definitely it is better to be proactive than reactive. You have said the answer. And how do you explain what is the reasoning behind you telling that proactive is better? Because you are explaining that proactive is a planned strategy, whereas reactive is an adaptive strategy to the changing circumstances. So a company's strategy is typically a blend of, no company can be entirely proactive or entirely reactive. Every company has to be typically a blend of both proactive and reactive part. Do you understand? And in order to improve the market's position, market's performance, market's overall positioning in the market, what is most important? Your reactions to the unanticipated developments and the fresh market condition. So when you have unanticipated development in the market and you have fresh market condition, it is very, 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 very important for you to typically blend the proactive and reactive strategies. Okay, and final paragraph, you're telling that being proactive in the aspects such as introducing new products will give you first mover advantage. Did I not tell you? Whenever you're a proactive strategist, then definitely it gives you the first mover advantage in the mind of customers. At the same time, when you're crafting a strategy, it obviously, when you're crafting a strategy, the strategy will involve those portions which are already working well, and it will involve the new strategy or intended new strategies that you're going to use in your business. So here they are saying that at the same time, crafting a strategy involves stitching together proactive or intended strategy and then adapting first one piece of the strategy that is working and then discarding the pieces that is not working, and then another circumstances surrounding the company situation change or better options emerge as reactive adaptive strategy. What are they trying to tell? Being proactive in aspects such as introducing new products will give you first mover advantage, no doubt. Okay. At the same time, you really have to understand that crafting a strategy involves stitching together proactive or intended strategy and then adapting first one piece, okay, and then another as circumstances surrounding the company's situations change for betterment. Okay, so obviously there should be a typical blend of both proactive strategy and reactive strategy for you to be highly agile, highly flexible. Okay, this aspect can be accomplished by Yummy Foods. But which is better? Proactive is always better when you have enough resources. But always remember, being proactive doesn't mean you should not react at all. Being proactive says that you have to take action well in advance. That's all. So once you take action well in advance and when you're learning that certain strategy doesn't work, discard those pieces. And in your strategy, certain portions will work, add it. So adding, deleting, and then making it work and adding some new portions, everything comes under the ambit of how to run a company. Okay. So what's the next question? Put a pause and read this question again. Put a pause and read this question. Kamal Sweets Corner. Yes. Have you read the question? It is the same old question. Okay, there is a sweet company and there is this There is this multinational company. Multinational company has come forward with that donut and all that. People are so people are splurging there. Okay, lots of crowd is only in the donuts donut shop, and there is no crowd at all in your shop. So what are you doing? You are coming up with some dahi samosa or some traditional sweet. Okay, as a result, one of the very crucial importance of strategic management was used by the company, and the reaction now, because you saw a donut company starting very next to you, and then 50% of your customer you've lost, everything you've noticed. Only after that you're coming up with a strategy. What should I do? So this is reactive strategy only. Okay, and was this strategy reactive or proactive? It is reactive strategy only. According to you, which is more beneficial? Generally, proactive is beneficial because it gives you some time for you to stand and manage things before it goes out of your hand. So always proactive is good, but that doesn't mean you should not adopt reactive at all. Reactive strategy is a part of proactive strategy. Whenever you come to learn some part of the strategy is not working, you really have to discard it. And whenever you learn some part is working, you have to attach it. So that is the evolution process of strategy making. So we'll go to the answer. What is the answer? There are 3 points. Okay, first point says that the strategy used here is what is reactive strategy, because here they are developing the competitive advantage. Generally competitive advantage develop பண்றது யாரோடைய objective? It is the objective of the first question படிச்சுமே, it is the objective of the strategic management to develop the core competency or to develop the competitive advantage. Here also they are doing the same. They are asking the Kamal Sweets to come up with the dahi samosa. It is a special competitive advantage that Kamal Sweets can only come up with. So here they are developing the core competencies and competitive advantages to overcome the competition. This kind of strategy is what it is, a reactive strategy, because you are taking up the strategy, almost you have lost 50% of your customers, only then you are coming up with this strategy. So this is a reactive strategy. But generally speaking, it is always beneficial to come up with the proactive strategy because it will give some time. Okay, and whenever there is some pitfalls or sometime when you have some unanticipated things going on, if you're proactive, you still can stand tall and you can face all the problems and you still can come out unscarred. That is what is most important. Now we have seen 3 questions. Question number 1, A and B, ALBELA and ALBELA and then JustBE, right? JustBE, ALBELA and JustBE. There we have studied about the proactive and reactive strategy and which is best, and what are the benefits of taking up the proactive strategy. And question number 2, Yummy Foods and Tasty Foods. Yummy was proactive and Tasty was reactive, and we have seen certain points. And in the same way, we have question number 3 where we have Kamal Sweets Corner. Here we have 3 questions. Question number 1, what kind of element they used? They wanted to increase the strategic competitiveness or core competitiveness, or that is called as competitive advantage, which is given by strategic management, and this is a reactive approach, but generally proactive is better than reactive. Okay, please take time to read all these questions, and please, if you want the notes, please do WhatsApp me. I'll help you with the text and with any doubts that might hit on you. Okay, second question is over. Second question completely engrossed itself with what? Proactive strategy and reactive strategy. Okay, proactive is a planned strategy. Proactive is a planned strategy, whereas reactive strategy is a counter action that you give for the changes in the circumstances. Okay, you know everything, right? So we'll in the next session we'll be discussing about the third question. I hope you all have understood second question. The very reason for me going on a very high speed train mandri போறது எதுக்காக அப்படினா, you really have to finish all the 8 chapters, okay, and all the important questions. So putting so much of time in one question would mean waste of time only, and that is why I am talking faster. If you are not able to follow me, please slow down the speed by using the YouTube. YouTube you will have like 1 time 1.25 like that. Please reduce the voice speed to 0.75, and then my speed will be reduced. Okay, so make sure you make the best use of these videos. So second question is over. So this is all about proactive and reactive strategies, and small case studies will be given like Yummy, Tasty or Kamal Sweets Corner, or about the ALBELA and the JustBE. Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Please don't forget to share, subscribe and comment. Okay, also WhatsApp me for the notes. All the best in your preparation. Thank you. Bye.